Welcome to When Marriage and Purpose
Collide,
the podcast. So, babe, I think people want to know about us a little more. I think we should tell them.
Well, I was looking fine, handsome online. You slid in my DMs. I was standing on a frozen lake with my dad, and it was
Stop, Sturge. Just speed it up.
All right, so basically we met online. Almost a year later, we were engaged, and 6.5 months later, we were married.
So there's so much to our story that we want to share. We always knew we had a mission. We are in no way perfect.
Well, we are passionate about helping Christian singles date with intention and purpose for marriage.
Hence this podcast.
Take a peek into our lives as we handle married life on purpose. There also will be some laughter, some seriousness, and a lot of thought-provoking topics.
So whether you are single and dating, engaged, or newlywed,
wait, don't forget the married couples.
We want to thank you for tuning in.
On to the episode.
All right, welcome back, y'all, to another episode. We back for another episode. Hey.
We back.
Yes, we are back. Welcome back to When Marriage and Purpose. What?
Collide.
No, we're going to do it again. Welcome back to When Marriage and Purpose.
Collide.
The podcast.
Gosh.
And so we are here, and listen, this season has been jumping off to a great start. Y'all have been coming in like people come to Friday Fish Fry. Listen, we see the downloads, and y'all been in there. Thank y'all so much. We see the subscribers, the follows, and the love that you're showing to us and our guests. So please keep it coming, keep it going. And we're just growing. We just, walking in purpose and allowing God to do what God does. And so we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes. But as you see, we have guests in the resume. Okay. We have guests in the resume, and we
Hey, y'all, hey.
Y'all say
What's up?
And so we're going to get to them, and they're going to tell us a little bit about them in a moment. But you know what we always start off with. Y'all know, if you listening, y'all know. If y'all been true ride or die, y'all been here and know. But what is the segment called, babe? What is it called?
Something interesting.
Yeah, something interesting. And so this is where we kind of talk about what's going on in our life, either something that's happened in the news, in the media, pop culture, whatever it may be, but whatever it is. So go ahead and start us off. What you got? What you got for the people? Let us know what you got. That's something interesting that you want to share.
Yeah, I had to think about that. My thing was I was invited to a children's birthday party. It was my cousin's. But we already pre-planned for another birthday party. And I was like, I ain't going to be able to make it because he's talking about his is at 2. Mm-hmm. I get off work later on. I'm like, it ain't going to work. So I told him, hey, we ain't coming. So I go to another birthday party. It was your nephew's, right?
My nephew, yep.
And right next door in the same place is the birthday party that I said I wasn't going to.
Oh, man.
So I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute, that's my family. They're looking at me. Oh, I thought you wasn't going to make it. I'm not, I guess. It was weird. It was a weird experience.
I looked, I was like, where are we? First of all, I was looking, I was like, where are we? And how is your family here? Right, and then my family is next door. And so,
it was at a power play, and there's the party rooms, and they're right next to each other. Yeah, like I look at both rooms and see everybody.
Dang.
It got even worse when my little cousin was like, "You got my gift?" Nah.
Dang.
Nah.
Because you was going to the other party, so no. Dang.
I missed everything. I'm sorry.
He told somebody he couldn't go to a party. He was going to another one.
Mm-hmm.
But he showed up, and the party he said he couldn't go to was right next door to the party he was going to.
Wow.
It was funny. It was so hilarious. Yeah. And they're like, how you know them? My family, like, how you know the people? I mean, listen, it's just family.
So both families right next to each other. One I declined, and the other one I accepted. It was weird.
It was good, but it was good. I'm glad you saw it. It's your folks. So.
Yep, I was able to make it.
So, right. All right, so the something interesting I had a whole bunch, my brain was going through a whirlwind of what to bring up because I look at things, I see stuff, but I just kind of decided to keep it a little bit simple. And I wanted to talk about non-photogenic men. So I'm not pointing no fingers, not pointing any fingers. It's so hilarious. What'd you say, Taylor?
I said DJ looking like, come on.
I saw the title. I was just like, okay.
Oh yeah, I did have it on there. I'm like, sorry. We got a little notes and I put it on the side. I should have put it on my notes. My bad. And so it's funny because I think ever since we've been together, I'm gonna say together, because not even since we've been married, it's been a struggle with picture taking and him and what he does to me in the picture.
Hand placement.
The hand placement.
The hand out your pockets.
And he's so awkward.
Look this way.
Like, I love him, but he's really awkward. And so it's like, and he doesn't know where to put his hands sometimes. And I'm like, no. And so for real, we took a picture at church today. I have no idea what it's going to turn out and look like. I don't even know what you did in front of.
I did good.
Okay.
But that don't mean nothing when I say it.
What? Because we don't know, and I ain't seen the finished.
I was holding the kids, so it should be.
It should be okay. And usually when you hold the kids, it's fine. But sometimes when he wraps his arm around me, like the way he puts his hand, it don't look. I'm like, sir. But then also he doesn't show his facial expressions don't show very well.
I do that on purpose.
Like, and so on people would be like, I don't know what he's thinking. Like, is he mean?
Yes.
Like, and I'm like, he's just him. It's him.
You know what? That's probably why your friends be thinking.
Is that me too?
That same.
Okay.
He don't smile.
Mm-hmm.
He don't smile. He just be like, I'll say, babe, like,
I take good pictures though.
He'd be like,
it be good pictures.
And I'm just like, yeah.
You make good pictures. Like, it don't be like bad pictures or nothing.
And then it's goofy with it. Like, you got to be goofy.
Yes.
Like, so I can't take a straightforward pic. Like, and I got to keep double taking. I got like, okay, don't do this, do that. So you make sure you smile and just look like a normal couple. But now we don't look normal because
exactly. And after the third try, he's sick of me. He like, I'm not taking no more pictures. And I'm like, dang, I got to work with what I got.
Yeah.
I just don't like taking pictures.
That's probably what it is. Is that what it is? You don't like taking pictures?
No, I ain't used to taking pictures. That's why.
So if you were used to taking pictures, then you would.
Maybe.
Okay.
I still would mess it up.
Probably so. So I don't know. It's gonna be an ongoing battle. I think it's just what it is what it is, and I gotta deal with it, and I'm okay with that.
It's the same way though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just gotta get a photographer that make them feel comfortable, or just like somebody that's more candid and you know what I mean, that capture moments that you're already in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this: when it comes to pro pics, it's different because they tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, put your hand here, do this.
Yeah.
I feel weird doing it, but it's like,
there we go.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in pictures with
a
other
little
dudes.
bit of direction.
Pictures with other dudes, like your family, or with men. Like we had, like you had Tony Baker.
Oh yeah. He didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. We just like hands.
It's so funny with
Tony Baker.
Yeah, he met him, and then he took a picture, and then they didn't know what to put.
We both was like,
but he has a sketch that he talks about where he doesn't know where to put.
No, it was he did the joke. I don't know. I was like, we both in the same boat. Then we took the picture together. Yep. It's like I don't know.
I was listening to his podcast when he was mentioning that. He's mentioning something about that, like he don't know where to put his hands at when he's taking a picture.
Yeah.
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 It's like, don't be, if you conscious of like what do I put my hands at, then it's just gonna be like, it's gonna be bad. It worse. Yeah.
That makes because I'm pretty sure he was thinking about that the whole time when he was taking pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole time, because he had several people, like a lot of people, the whole lineup. You know how they do. So anyway, so that's my something interesting. So thank y'all for listening to the something interesting segment of When Marriage and Purpose Collide. So listen. Okay, yes. Listen, we got guests here. We got beautiful people in the building. And so let me do a background. So this person, this lovely lady that you're seeing right here, Taylor, I've known her, and she's just said it too, 10 years. I think it's probably a little bit more than that, but 10 years. So we went to church together. We was part of a friend group together. Like, we rolled tough. I remember picking you up. We would, for whatever we had, whatever function we had, all of the things. And you were the one who helped me start my natural hair journey. And I remember that now because I remember you said I was looking for a natural hairstylist at the time, and you were already in the group and we already knew each other. So you was like, no, I could do it. Like, it's no thing. Like, so I was like, cool. So getting my relaxer out and starting the process, girl, you was the one who was like,
did I cut it off?
Yeah, you helped me. You started it. Yep. And every time I went to you, you would trim it. You would keep trimming it down. So
I be forgetting.
It's okay, but it's lovely because I was like, this is crazy. It went from natural hair to my fro to my locks now, and so
but beautiful, by the way. I love your locks.
Thank you. So I appreciate you, but no. So y'all give it up for this wonderful couple. Please tell us about yourselves, where y'all at, where y'all from. We'll go into the relationship stuff later, but just give us a tidbit.
You can go first, baby.
So you always put me on the spot, bro. You go first. It's your turn. I'm Mychal, from Delaware. So should we talk about where we met or just individually?
Just who you are.
I'm from
Delaware. Moved around a lot. Had various jobs. My dream was always to do film. So that's what I'm pursuing now, is film, podcasting, and just all kind of like creative endeavors, like visually. So that's what I do. So it's your turn now.
Cool. I am Taylor, originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I am a licensed cosmetology instructor and a plant-based chef. So I've been doing that for some years. But I think the biggest or most humbling title that I wear is mom. It's every single day. Every day it's something new. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. We live in Charlotte now.
Yeah.
First time home buyers, homeowners. It's been a wild ride. We both have moved around a lot before we met each other, but we landed here in Charlotte, came here to help some friends, plant a church, and also to just be closer to family. We were in Houston before this, and in Houston, it's a 21-hour drive to Delaware.
Yeah, we drivers.
Yeah, and it's a 14-hour drive to St. Louis.
Yeah.
And here,
it's like 12
is 10 and a half, 11 maybe to St. Louis.
No, it's like 12.
12? Okay. 12 to St. Louis.
Okay.
And then he's way closer. It's 8.5 hours to get to his family versus 21. So
it's always when you get to the East Coast, it's easier to just flow through the different states and just go.
Yeah.
Man. It's 8 hours to get to Delaware. So my mom been down here probably 8 times.
Wow.
Just been here.
Yeah. Okay. And we hadn't seen her, when we moved to Houston, we hadn't seen her in maybe 3 years. Probably came down once the whole time. So it's just like a bigger hassle to catch a flight, and you know what I mean?
You got kids and they become toddlers and you got to pay for those adult seats.
Listen.
It's easier to drive.
So much easier to drive.
Save that money. You know what I mean? Save that money and just hop in the car.
Yeah.
We got so many miles on that car right now, bro.
Man, I wish we
could. It's
ridiculous,
man. It's so ridiculous.
I wish we could hop in the car and drive to California and not be so far.
Sheesh. Where y'all at?
We're in Kansas City.
Yeah, okay.
You gotta drive, hit the mountains.
I know.
Yep.
Man, so it's gonna have to be the train ride or a flight.
Train is gonna be worse.
Yeah, so anyway, as always, we start off. Oh, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for sharing your story. Yes, I can't wait to get into it because I'm already thinking of questions as I'm hearing y'all talk about y'all relocated in life and businesses and growth and love and purpose. It's about to go down in the interview. Now we start off with the 3 questions we always ask our guests. Babe, go ahead, take it away.
All right, first question is: marriage and purpose colliding. What does this mean to you?
Let me go first. You go first.
I can go. I guess. I feel like if you don't I feel like it's one branch off the same tree. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's I mean, they're both branches off the same tree. Like, purpose is like tied into your marriage. Like, and if y'all both are connected, then y'all both heading toward the same goal. You know what I mean? Which is your purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just a part of your purpose is a part of who you are.
Yeah.
And your marriage is too. So if y'all both are one, then y'all both are headed toward the same purpose, the same goals. You know what I mean?
I like that. The same purpose and the same goals. And that's it. And that's what I think needs to be said more than anything when you are colliding with someone in your single season or when y'all start dating. Like, do y'all align? Like, you align, right? So you're aligning before and aligning after. So that's important.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
You wanna go?
Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry. My bad. Go ahead, Tay, if you want to say something.
It's cool. I mean, we kind of went over it, so I know what he said. For me, when I looked at the question, it kind of just like marriage and purpose colliding, like marriage not being a separate entity outside of purpose. Like it's on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm marrying this person and like you said, aligning. Like it's on purpose. When I married him, I knew that this is my partner that's going to help bring out everything that God has placed inside of me. And vice versa. Like I wanted to do that for him as well. Like I want to help him cultivate everything that God has put inside him, not it being the other way around where it's like, oh shoot, we married now and everything goes on the back burner. But it's like it aligns with what you're already doing, who you already are, and it further pushes you into being that person. So that's what I think about.
Ooh, and who you already are. I love that. Ooh, I love that transformation and who you already are. It is a constant. It's a constant phase and a constant thing that's going to always keep growing and learning with that, knowing who you are as we evolve. That's good. All right, go ahead. Kids. All right, so
hey, it's okay. Listen.
All right, next question is. Listen, I know I asked Taylor to be on this conversation, but really, like, what compelled you to join this conversation and be on this platform today?
I think just we really, really have a deep desire to be transparent with other couples or people in general about what happens in relationship, what happens in marriage, the things that we wish that people would have told us or shown us, like allowed us. We wish that people would have allowed us into a transparent space so that we could see, hey, this comes with marriage as well. You know, it's not all fluffy all the time, right? Like sometimes you love each other, but you don't like each other at the moment. Nobody talks about those things though. So I think that we really, really just want to share in everything with marriage, like the good and the bad, the ups and the downs, and allow God to use that to really help people. And our being real and transparent help other people know that one, you're not going through things alone, and then two, these are some things that you might have to look forward to, but it's okay. Like somebody will be walking through it with you.
I think transparency is the only way you're going to grow. I think it's the only way because it's like we call it like, if you don't have anybody in your business, if you don't have anybody, if nobody's in your business, nobody can check you, right? If nobody's in your business, you're not accountable to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be vulnerable, and you have to be transparent in order to grow.
Yeah.
That's I feel like that's the only way iron can sharpen iron.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because it's like we've had a community it was a foreign concept to me when I growing up.
Yeah.
Going to the church I was going to before we met, it was a foreign concept. Community was,
Mm-hmm.
and until I recognized or I seen what community was, it's something that God ordained to be a part of a believer's journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like so many people just push that to the side. They push community to the side.
Yeah.
And it should be like the integral part of the church.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It should be what the church is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Transparency should be that. Transparency in community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if you can't confess to one another, then I don't think it's going to be hard to grow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you never show anybody who you truly are,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be hard.
Yep.
It's going to be hard to grow, man. So
Man,
that's why we
important.
wanted to show. Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. And I think the more transparent we are about talking about the realness in relationships, the more people can figure out what work they need to do outside of it, inside of it, all of the things, because you're right. Like, I don't know if I didn't seek out people as much as I should have, but I don't think a lot of women, I'll talk to women, married women came to me. I know I had my mom, I had people who were married in my family, but I don't think a lot of them really poured out to me as much as I would have, or I don't know if I let myself into that as much or lean into that as much. And it's because maybe the community, maybe it wasn't a safe place that I had to share or to open up.
Yeah.
And so I remember a woman coming up to me or texting me or something. Somehow she said to me, she was like, what happens or why when people get married, they get silent? Like what goes on? Like they talking about, they on social media, they everywhere, proposal, the engagement, all of the things leading up to the wedding, all the flash, the pictures, everything. But then we don't hear the real deal. So we out here trying to figure out what y'all be doing. Like, how do we do this thing? But we're not hearing it. And of course, everybody's not called to do that, to share, it's cool. But it's like, if you know you have something to say and you could share it with someone else, do it. Be transparent with that person or the people, the group of people. So I appreciate y'all really stepping out and sharing out. So
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
We appreciate y'all for having us on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, I love it. Go ahead. I love it. Go ahead.
So are we on the third one, right?
Yes.
Just making sure.
Yes.
All right. What are your thoughts surrounding the current state of singles and dating nowadays?
I have no idea. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just feel like if you are single, then don't rush to get married. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should. Like, I don't think you should rush to get married until you know who you are. You've done some healing. You are whole.
Yeah.
A whole person. Because we come into marriage with baggage. We come into marriage with baggage. We come into marriage with trauma, past traumas, and so many things that weigh us down. It's going to weigh your marriage down too. You know what I'm saying? It's going to affect you, and you need to know how to deal with your neural pathways or your all of the things that make you, and the trauma that you have. You need to learn how to navigate that before you enter a marriage with somebody else. Because you're literally like, I remember the first year of our marriage, it was like we were butting heads. You know what I mean? We couldn't do this because we was doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We couldn't do this.
Yeah.
You know, and it was so much friction.
Yeah.
It was so much friction because we're trying to be perfect for somebody or we have so many differences or our experiences just like we're butting heads against one another. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like we were like, I wouldn't say we were like frenemies. We was like
Really?
enemies. Like, yeah, like in the beginning, like
Sure.
it's gotten way better because we are dealing with our own like traumas, like our own.
Don't get into that yet, babe.
I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, so yeah, I think people need to be to heal themselves first before, you know what I mean? If you're single, just know yourself. Know yourself, know God, and get some therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I think about like the state of singles and dating right now, I really feel like church like culture, like growing up in church, I didn't even know how to date.
Mm.
I didn't know how to date. I was so sheltered, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to look for a red flag or how to see if I connected with this person or not. And I thank God, like, this a miracle because I didn't know how to do that stuff, and here we are. But
Right.
I didn't know how to do the basic things. Like, it was kind of like, oh, you love Jesus, I love Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Like, nobody's doing the internal work of saying, like, okay, we can both love Jesus, but are we compatible?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
I think that we, well, just the singles in dating right now, like getting into a space where it has to be deep work done in dating, and then not just being, oh, we go to the same church,
Right.
or we both love Jesus. Let's make some shake. Nah, you gotta feel that thing out and like really see who each other are before you take the leap of saying this is something that I want to do. So yeah, I would encourage singles that are dating, like in this time frame, get to know each other. Like get to know yourself. Outside of, oh, we just do Bible study together or we pray together, like, because that ain't it. It's a lot more stuff that comes. Yeah.
A lot more stuff that comes with it. No, I appreciate that because it's hard out there for those that are single and dating. It is really stressful, exhausting. And so I appreciate y'all sharing a little bit about what y'all see, because sometimes we like, we married, well, we ain't gotta handle that, but we still got single friends and single people.
Yep.
And we get the talk. We like, girl, it's, oh my gosh. And you get it on your end. And so
yeah, it's terrible.
yeah, so we want to be able to encourage and to be like, look, because it is the way it is, let's dial back. You can work on you. This is some things that you need to work on before you even enter into a relationship. So listen, thank y'all for answering the 3 questions for the podcast. So you really don't remember anything I said? I know what it is. You've been on that game with all your little friends.
Why they gotta be little friends? Anyway, you still didn't give me time to chill.
Chill? What you talking about? You got all the time in the world. Plus, you know what? What are we eating for dinner?
What do you want to eat?
Just pick up something. I don't care.
Tacos?
We had tacos a few nights ago, so no.
Chicken? Chinese? Thai?
Ugh. Fine, let's just do tacos.
Hold up. You know what? When's the last time we did check-in?
We hear all the time about how important communication is in a relationship, and most importantly, a marriage. But what does communication really look like? Well, in the Couples Check-In Communication Game Changer, we provide tips and tools on starting your own check-in. If you feel like communication is failing, or that you are both not on the same page, or you just want to try something new in your relationship, get this resource today. Visit www.lucretiahaley.com to get yours today. All right, so we're about to get into this. As I said, that I knew Taylor before all this. Like we've been knowing each other for a long time, like 10 plus years. And so I have some receipts of before she met Mychal or doing her.
What I say?
Go ahead.
No, I'm waiting on you to see what I forgot. So.
You forgot. So in my life, we were married about 6 months already. We were 6 months in, and you were dating. And so you came in my inbox, and this is what I've gotten. This is why I started what I started, because a lot of women were dating and asking questions about online dating specifically, because that's how we met.
Yeah.
But then also because they was like, how you do this, girl? Where I need somebody. So anyway, I usually, so it was normal to me to get some of these, but then she said, okay, it always does that. It took me all the way down, didn't it? Okay. So she came in and she was like, I'm on Christian Mingle, and I've been talking to a guy named Mychal from Delaware for about a week.
And
really serious.
Real receipts.
Man, it's almost scary. I met his dad via FaceTime. Girl. And then you said, I went in praying, not knowing what to expect. Do you have any nuggets or words of wisdom for this process? And then he said he also invited me on a cruise next year with his family. And so that
wise counsel. Come on.
Man,
I needed to know.
Yes. And so I was like, girl, yes, it's scary. It's out here. Some guys tend to move fast because they're excited and want to show you off to everybody. I used discernment on some dudes and just called it off. And I said, he sounds like a great guy. So you said, we just met. He asked me if he was moving, if he was moving too fast. The day that I paid for my subscription is the day that he joined. He sent me a smile and I responded. He said he subscribed just to see what I said to him. We've been talking and texting.
That is the truth. The whole truth with nothing but it.
Now, this is the key right here. This is the kicker. It's clear that he wants a wife.
Yeah.
He's talking about planning a trip to see me in Houston soon. So this is when you were living in Houston.
Yeah.
And so I'm peeking in because I'm still kind of cautious, right? I'm still like in girl protection mode. So I'm saying, wow, do you feel comfortable with him? Like, how's conversation going? How's his relationship with God is what I asked you back. And so you said, I'm not comfortable. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable yet, but our conversation is great. And his relationship with God is legit. He told his pastor about me already. Look, he said accountability already. Like, this is good. This is all great. He's in the arts and politics, really smart. A few things that I kind of don't like, but that's unredeemable. He said he's a great guy. He has been consistent in his communication as well.
Yeah.
Also, these other guys on the side are not trying to talk to me. They're scared. So that was the gist of it. And so I was talking about blocking some of the other guys on there and tell me more about the relationship with him and how it's going. I'm praying for you is what I said. And then shortly after that,
man,
3 kids later,
man,
I didn't even see what he looked like.
That's a mom.
3.
Yeah. I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Did you want that out yet?
Oh, wait a minute. What?
Did you want that? Okay, we can go.
Yeah.
Hey, we might. You know what? It could premiere on the show.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
I was like, hold on. That's like 3.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, 3.
Yeah.
I said, oh, did you mess up? Hold on, you got 2 now.
You got time now. We can edit this.
Oh my gosh. So I love this. I love it. I love y'all.
Yeah.
So this conversation speaks so much. It speaks so loud onto what you got to say?
That's I'm gonna put surprise in the title.
Oh, you'll put surprise in the title? Okay.
Do it, bro. We ain't mad.
We gonna put it somewhere. So I forgot. Okay, I gotta read the questions because I got so many things in my brain. Talk about y'all singleness real quick and talk about where you were. So what work did you feel was done or not done in your dating phase? Like what was going through Taylor and Mychal physically, mentally, spiritually? What did that look like for y'all?
Uncommitment. Like when I was single, like I didn't really have long relationships. They were just like situationships. You know what I mean? I never was like a cheater or anything. Just more like a serial monogamist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's all I've seen like growing up. So I kind of just fell into that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I was when I was single. What was it? It was the second part of that question.
Like what was? Well, I kind of want to piggyback because there's a lot of talk and a lot of things about the women who are now dating men, and they feel like a lot of men aren't ready, or they just like they're dating just to be dating me. There's no commitment. It's like the communication is lacking. So speak about where your head was with not being monogamous. Like what caused you to not say, you know what, I gotta cut the relationship off? Were you into the women like that much, or what was your dating like? And maybe speak to the men now who are like, they're out here, or the women now, they're out here waiting for these men to actually step up, and it seems like a lack there. But it seems like you were kind of in that space, and then you met Taylor. So what was that like? Like, how did you handle all that?
I was always like not in pursuit of marriage, but I always thought I was going to be married. So I always like had that in the back of my mind, like always had that in the back of my mind, like to have a wife one day. Okay. So it was never, for me, it was never like I'm gonna just be running around out here. It was always like, if this is a person that I would want to marry, then that's cool. If it's not, then that's why it was like serial monogamy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not like it was more like trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Trial and error, but still like in my sin, still like running around, you know what I'm saying? When I wasn't in a relationship, or but I always had the desire to be married. So it wasn't like yeah. So I can't say that I was ready for marriage, because I don't think anything can prepare you for that. Yeah. Nothing could have prepared me for the first year of our marriage, because it was just like us just trying to fit together. You know what I mean? As far as like other men out here, the way I see it, please just try to like try to stay celibate.
Yeah.
Try to stay celibate, and then you'll see a clear picture of who that person is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you don't have all of those emotions tied to that person, or you don't have there's really nothing bonding you except for your either relationship with God or your personality with that person, like how you two people get along. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, is this your friend, or you know what I mean? So I mean, that would be my advice to other dudes out there. Like, it's you know, yeah.
We came from two different backgrounds with before dating. And I guess it's a picture of hope, you know, that things, it can work. But my experience was totally opposite from him. I was celibate for 10 years. I wasn't dating anybody. I was really focusing on like learning how to love myself again.
Mm-hmm.
I was working, had my own place, like just doing stuff to love Taylor. And
Mm-hmm.
he came along, and for me, it was like the icing on the cake. It wasn't like I need a man right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was more so like, oh, this would be great. Like my heart was ready for it. But it wasn't necessarily a longing. Unlike him, like I didn't ever think I was gonna get married. Honestly, like I was like, I don't see no husband, no babies. Like I'm cool. Like I wasn't running the streets, but I was doing hair. So I was super busy. I was traveling and things like that. And it was a beautiful surprise. It caught me by surprise, but it wasn't something that I was seeking out, if that makes sense.
Sure.
It happened. And it happened in the process of me loving me and getting to know me, so that when he did come along, I already knew who I was, and he just further validated that. I didn't put pressure on him to perform, because a lot of times when people come along and you're dating, you're expect like, hey, take me out, get me flowers. Dude, I was doing that stuff for myself. So when he came along and he did, it was sweet. I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. Like somebody else doing it aside from me. Like I take myself out, but somebody taking me out. Like it was really, really cool. So I would have to say, before meeting him, I did take the time to just work on myself and love myself and date myself. So yeah.
No, that's good. That shows a lot. That shows a lot. So Mychal, would you say you did the same? Did you do a lot of work on yourself as well before meeting Taylor as well? Or was it like when you got, you're like, okay.
I mean, I think God was working on me, but I wasn't doing no work on myself. Like,
okay. That's
you know what I mean?
What yeah.
I just came in there raw, like.
I'm here.
I feel like during the process, it was just like during the process, God was like showing me and changing me, like, you know what I'm saying. But good. Up until then,
no, that's good. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Up until then, it just wasn't like. Nah, I wasn't working on myself. I was in a relationship with a married woman, maybe a year prior.
Yep.
Like a year prior.
You gotta get the background.
Well, she was separated from her husband.
Got you.
For a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She claims like he was abusive and stuff like that, and she was in the process of getting a divorce, but it never happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why the only reason the relationship ended was because of that, because she went back. And I was heartbroken, and that's how I came to Christ. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm going to church. I was in church, you know what I'm saying, trying to get right. You know, not knowing that I can't try to get right. You know what I'm saying? I just have to give everything up to God. And during that process, like, I just gave everything to God. And through that, like, that's when God started working on me. It was like very shortly before I met Taylor. So say hey,
say hi.
Yo, we got kids on kids.
Hello.
We got kids out on our room that are acting crazy. We got kids in here. So y'all gonna hear everything, and y'all gonna love it, okay?
Hey, I don't care. I'm
Look, he's literally sitting here like, it's my time to shine.
So no, what I love about what you said, Mychal, is because a lot of times, even in my journey too, I would admit that we wanted this put together guy. Everything, all boom, 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 all like that. And then, so what I did, I put a lot of pressure on him because of what I thought I needed to see in order to be married.
I was the person,
you know,
testing and
well,
passing with fire.
And so to hear that you said you did not, like, you knew what you wanted, but because the relationship helped you follow Christ more deeply, says a whole lot, a whole lot, right, in that process. So appreciate you sharing that a story about how you evolved into the work. Like, it wasn't like you was already put together, boom, 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 I'm good, you know, kind of deal. So appreciate that. So y'all done talked about how what work was done, and even being ready for one another. So what made y'all say yes to one another? Like, what was that like? You know, tell us a little, what y'all got, any stories or anything that brought y'all to be like, let's do this.
Yeah. So Michael's pursuit reminded me of Jesus. I was and had been going through it for years, losing my hair. And I remember him saying something like, I don't know, I picture you with a low cut. And I had a head full of hair at the time, right? Okay. I was like, I picture you with a low cut. And I was like, okay, that's different. Like, and I remember he was about to fly out to Houston, and he said, when I get there, I want to see the real you, not the you that you want me to see. And he said, if you don't cut your hair off, I'm gonna cut it for you. And he said
you didn't tell her about like the reveal.
Because I had been hiding it for so long, and I said I was scared, you know, I was about to go get surgery or something to try to fix it. And he was like, he straight up told me, he was like, that's vanity. He was like, it's deeper than just you. He said, it's so many other women that are going to be free from your testimony. You have to be obedient in doing it. And I was just like, what the heck? Because that was another element for me as a woman that made me think that I would never get married. Hair is beautiful. You know, we've been told, like, that's our crown, that's our glory. So, like, I'm bald out here. Like, I'm like, is somebody going to find it attractive? Like, who's going to want to? And he loved that part of me effortlessly. It was never a thing. And I remember just being transparent with each other about different things that we were like going through. Mine was my hair. But first he told me about his psoriasis. Okay. And when he opened up about it, I was just like, I cried. I remember weeping because I was like, he didn't have to tell me that. Like, we still in the process of getting to know each other. This is something that he could have did to see if, let me bag her first, and then let me drop everything on her. But he was like, I chose to tell you this because I love you enough for you to know and for you to be able to choose. I don't want to drop anything on you after the fact. Like, I want you to know everything up front, and then you get to choose whether you want to be with me or not. And nobody had ever done anything like that for me. Nobody had exposed secrets or things that could have them rejected. But he was so vulnerable that I was like, that's beautiful. And I remember hanging up clothes in my closet. I'm living in Houston. And I just remember God like whispering to my heart, like, let that man love you. And my guards came down, and I was just like, okay, like, I'm going to allow this to happen. And I'm not going to self-sabotage like I've done with everything else. I'm not going to push him away, even though I tried. But his pursuit, like, every time he still was like, nope. Like, he would call, he was consistent. Like, when he flew to Houston, that was his first time ever being on a plane. Really? Like, he had never flown anywhere before. I was like,
I've been everywhere, But we just like my family, we just drove.
I was like, oh Lord Jesus, this man getting on a plane like for the first time to come see me, like that meant a lot. So I knew when I seen his pursuit and his efforts to continuously make me feel comfortable, make me feel loved, and it was just pure. It was something so pure and genuine about it. I was like, yeah, this is
it.
Yeah.
So let me go back. Let me ask. So how long before y'all were dating, or I don't even know if y'all were truly dating yet, or that he went to Houston? Like, how long after did he visit Houston when y'all first met online?
Okay, so we met mid-December.
Mid to late December.
Yep.
And
he flew to Houston Super Bowl weekend of that next year. So February.
February.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But we have been FaceTiming and stuff.
Sure.
We have been FaceTiming.
I like the vulnerability that y'all share with one another. Like in the area of just being open. Like it sounds like y'all were able to make each other comfortable. And you were comfortable with one another to share your stories and your truth and who you are, and you were able to still love that about one another, you know. And so the pursuit made it so much sweeter, Taylor, on your end, because you're like, I had all this stuff that I'm thinking about myself, and he still loves that. He likes that, like he wants to see the real me. Like, ooh, and that probably just was a huge relief, you know.
It was.
You didn't have to show up for nobody. You didn't have to show up. Like, and for the pursuit side of it, Mychal, like we like movies where the men are, you know, fighting for the princess. You know what I'm saying? Like we always love those where y'all going and y'all doing it for whatever. I'm fighting for my queen and other stuff. But it sounds like a real story, like a real storybook of what you were going through in your battle as a man and just trying to do right. And then you said you wanted a wife, you were looking for a wife at the time, and Taylor matched that, it seems like. So yeah, I love that. You have any words that you wanted to share, babe?
What you ask like that?
I don't know, because you're looking at me. That's why I know I speak a lot. So I got to make sure
she knows my language. Anyway, I was going to ask Mychal, what was it that you saw in her that made you like unlock that in order to love her? Because I know there was like that one pivotal point where it's like, you know what, I can be free to do that now.
Just her graciousness and her vulnerability. You know what I mean? I think if you're vulnerable, you allow people to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we are like in lock and step with that. Like as far as community goes, you know what I'm saying? We believe that's the only way to grow. You know what I mean? So like her graciousness, and then like she was just real and like open and fun, like, you know what I'm saying? And just she felt like my best friend. You know what I mean? She felt like I can just confide anything to her. I can tell her anything. So that's what was like, okay, I think this person, I think this is my wife. Like, you know what I mean? And it was just like an epiphany moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like one of those moments. It was like, oh, okay, I know now. And then like, it was just like a state of like, something that already is. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like. And it felt like it was a super surprise. You know what I'm saying? It just felt like, oh, this is my person. You know what I mean? And we'll continue our life from here. You know?
That's good. That's so good. That's so good.
Yeah, he said freedom. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah. I mean,
no, go ahead.
No, he want you to repeat it.
Oh, I said that sounded like freedom to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's freedom. It's definitely. You're not in no hunt no more.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And you're still pursuing, but you're not trying to find anything. You know what I mean? You're pursuing, but you're not finding. You're not. You know.
Yeah. And that takes a lot of weight off. Like when you, I'm sure, when you know what you're aiming for, but you ain't gotta like fight so hard. Like
the guard ain't up no more. So before you was pursuing it, you still had a guard up to protect yourself. But now like I don't have to worry about that no more. I can go all out. Basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk about so how long were y'all dating before engagement, then before marriage? Like what was that? Tell me. Just go ahead, share.
Yeah.
I know we kind of
we ran.
Well, you say
y'all ran? How long was it? It was kind of quick. It might have been quick.
Yeah, our kid, he run through the house and he say jet speed. I think that was us. That was us. So we met mid-December. He came to visit Houston in February, and when he came in February, we already said like, hey, since we're long distance, we're gonna see each other every other month or every month. And listen, we ain't had no kids. I was flying Spirit. You know, that stuff was cheap.
You had
$75 round trip. So
before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
In March, he came in February. He met all my friends and things like that. He met my mom and stuff on FaceTime because they weren't in Houston. They were still in St. Louis. But hi, buddy. So he I decided that I was gonna go to Delaware in March because he had met my people. So I was gonna go, meet his people. So I went to Delaware in March, and my roommate that I was staying with at the time, she was like, she said, from how this guy seems to be, she said, you probably gonna come back engaged. She said, you're gonna go to Delaware and you're gonna come back with a ring. Like, he's serious.
Wow.
She was right. I went in March. I was on my way back to Houston, and he proposed to me in the airport on the way back to Houston.
Wait, did you do the movie one? Did you do the movie like you were stopped?
Rushing through the airport?
Man, listen, it was
it was just like, I invited, so my mom and my dad was in the car, so we got out the car, and then she was walking, she got her ticket, and she was walking, about to walk up the escalator or whatever, and then I just got on one knee, and then we was walking together, and then I stopped, and I got on one knee, and
I'm like, where'd he go?
Walking.
Like, he was walking by my side.
And when she turned around, I had the ring out and everything, and then she started crying.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah. To this day, I don't even remember saying yes. Okay? Yeah. I was just like, I was boohoo crying, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it because he had set up a dinner that weekend for me to meet, like, us to have some intimate time with his family. And I'm thinking it's gonna happen at the dinner. I called my mom, like, Mom, I think he about to propose. And she was like, girl, just let it happen. And I'm like, okay, it's really about to happen here. So he kind of like had me worked up. I'm on my way back to Houston, and I'm like, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Like, it's okay, Tay. Like, it's all right. And it happened in the airport, and he was like, yeah, I knew you was expecting it at dinner. So, so I did it at the airport. So, yeah, it was roughly 3 months before we were engaged. And then we got married in August.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. That's less than a year. That's 6.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't count. But yes, it's quick.
Yep.
Yeah. You right.
Jet speed.
You right.
Yep.
You right. Jet speed.
Oh my gosh. So that had to be a transition for y'all, period, as far as just living together and knowing the whole shebang with marriage and all of that. So that's why when I heard y'all in the beginning when you were talking about bumping y'all heads and everything kind of like that, it was more so y'all were growing together, growing. Yeah. So, wow. Okay. So I know the people was like, so did y'all do any premarital counseling or anything beforehand? Well,
no.
Side-eye.
The short answer is no. The long answer is yes.
Yeah.
The what?
Yeah. So our premarital
I might know what y'all talking about. I gotta get the gist, but go ahead.
It was not good. It was not good. I definitely think that So who we did premarital counseling with later down the line, him and his wife ended up not being together. It was one-sided during counseling. It was only him. So I never got to hear a woman's perspective when it came to marriage.
And it was also it was like he had us writing out of a book or something like
it was
so,
very surface level.
It was impersonal. It wasn't tailored to us. It just wasn't. It wasn't good. It wasn't really preparing us. We didn't talk about anything.
Not nothing.
Anything like financial stuff. Like what kind of person are you? With like financially type of person are you? Like we didn't talk about none of that. What are your roles in this marriage? What are your roles? We didn't talk about any of that.
Okay. Discipline. How would you discipline your children? Do y'all have the same discipline styles?
None of that.
What are your backgrounds? Where did you come from? Like it was very shallow conversation. So
I don't think it was shallow. It was just more like not good.
Yeah,
it just wasn't.
It was
bad. It was just like it was bad. I wish.
Yeah.
I wish we had better premarital counseling because it would have saved us from a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
He just had like a syllabus or a course syllabus that just wasn't good teaching for me. Like you know what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to talk bad on them or nothing like that.
Right.
But it just didn't do anything for us. You know what I mean?
And was it Christian based or was it like?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. For what it was, for what it was supposed to be, I guess.
Same issues. I was thinking of how I know the difference between premarital counseling and therapy because that premarital counseling, they just give you the pamphlet.
Yeah.
Right, here, go over this little paperwork, and and it does have something to do with the teacher too, because you can still have the paperwork with it, but if the teacher's not there to basically, what I've heard, the best line I've heard, there to try to break y'all up, then they ain't working right.
Yeah. And so, and not to knock our experience, it was okay. It was just like we wish we could have got deeper. So yeah. We So that's what and later on I'm like, man, we didn't have that discussion. Kind of going in.
We still took something out of it though.
Yes, we took
check-ins.
Yeah, we did. We did take our check-in.
I didn't feel like
medication.
He didn't. It wasn't personalized, even from his own experience.
Yeah. There was no transparency in it.
It was just like straight out of a textbook. Like, that's all it was. And it was just like, read this book or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. All right.
So it's talking about premarital counseling, and as we're going into y'all's marriage now, we're going to talking about y'all married. And I'm gonna fast forward for the people too, because one of the reasons why I wanted y'all on too was, Taylor, you put out a post about therapy and how y'all do therapy Mondays and then y'all go on a date afterwards. And I remember telling DJ, I was like, they go on a date after therapy. And I was like, and he was like, man, that could be exhausting.
Had a bad session. We gotta go to the movies and eat popcorn.
Listen.
But, so feel free.
It's usually in between. So we go to separate therapy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk about that. So y'all how many years married now? Y'all 5 years in?
Almost 6.
Yeah, almost 6 years. 6 in August.
6 in August. Okay, almost 6 in August, and y'all married now. Y'all married now. Fast forward, what caused you both to be like, you know what, therapy is what we need? Or maybe y'all started from jump. Like, tell us your story on what therapy was for y'all. When the decision needed to be made? Was it just like, we gonna divorce if we don't do it? Like, what happened?
It was a whole bunch of that. Like,
okay.
I think it was like, she's been saying she needs therapy
for a while.
Like, she needs therapy personally, and we need therapy for a while. And I'm just like, yo, we don't need no therapy. Like, we good. Like, we got believers. We got the people. Like, we got our people. You know what I'm saying? We got wise counsel. I'm shaking stuff. Yeah, we got wise counsel. We got everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I did not know what therapy was. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Until now, like, I know what therapy is, and it's wise counsel was good for like the body, your decisions, like, you know what I'm saying? Sin, but therapy is like, this is the science of your mind. And these people really study that and can diagnose you and can give you ways to navigate your own shortcomings, and you know what I'm saying, and your downfalls, and your like it can help you navigate your own brain. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a
So you were on the right track, but as far as therapy goes, like what in your relationships status, or at that time when you started, said, you know what, let's start it now, you know? And you said individually and together, but what was going on to where it needed to be had? For sure.
It was me. So I started my own separate journey. I remember realizing that the resource was available to me, and I don't know if it was out of like desperation or what, but I was just like, something is off. Like something's not right. Like I feel like something is broken within me. My emotions started becoming like disattached. I'm like on edge with my kids, mainly the older one. I mean, like, yeah, on edge. And I'm like, look, it's something deeper. It's not your kid. It's not the things going on around you. You're responding to those things, but the frustration is internally. So what do you need to do to work on that so that everything around you is not being tainted because of your brokenness? So I was like, I need to go to therapy. Like, and I remember the first session that I had, and I remember talking to Mychal after the session, and he just kept saying, "Babe, you good?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You sound good." He was like, "What you do today?" Because he didn't know that I had started therapy that day.
He didn't know. Okay.
No.
So I was like, "Oh, I went to therapy." He was like, "You sound light."
Really?
And I was like, yeah, I feel light. And one of my friends in Houston, she said the same thing. I talked to her before. I had talked to Mychal, and she was like, "Sis, you sound lighter. Like you sound better. Like you sound lifted." And I think when he heard, I remember him hearing how I sounded, and I remember people calling, because people call us throughout the day, and he was talking to his dad, and he was like, "Yeah, Taylor went to therapy today." Like it was like yeah, she was in therapy, and I was encouraged by it, but I didn't realize how my response and how that weight being lifted would shift to him saying, "I need to go to therapy too." Wow. And that's what happened. He was like, "Okay, so how I set up an appointment?" And
Tell her what happened though. Why I answered that.
So naturally we're going to talk about the things that's happening in our lives in therapy. So in the session, I'm telling her about, my marriage and where we are right now. And I was telling her about Mychal. I was like, man, I said, he's really brilliant. He has so many great ideas. I said, but there's an issue with like the focus of it all. Like, and he finds himself like beating himself up because he'll start stuff and then he won't finish, or and she was like, I can't diagnose him because he's not here, but it sounds like he might have ADHD. And I was like, okay. So I came home and I'm telling him about the session. And when I mentioned that, it's like something broke inside of him, but not in a bad way. It was like a relief, like, oh my goodness, all the pieces to the puzzle. This is what's wrong with me. Like, this is what I've been battling with, but it didn't have a name. To, like, I self-diagnosed myself, but to hear a professional say, hey, this is what he's probably struggling with, he felt relieved, because he was like, it's not me. Like, I'm not broken. It's something, it's an imbalance inside of me. Like, it's something that I'm dealing with, and I've been trying to do it on my own and fix myself. But now I get that I can't fix myself. I need to go to therapy and walk this thing out and talk about these things. So that pushed him into starting his own journey. And because of it, we're seeing so much fruit. Like, it really was a breakthrough in our marriage, because we realized that we are both dealing with past traumas. If your inner child isn't healed, it's gonna show up.
In all ways, all kind of ways.
That little girl, that little boy gonna show up.
Yep.
It is like, and like we all believers, so we know that the world is broken, but you really won't know until you go to therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll start to realize that everybody's broken.
Yeah.
Everybody's affected, and everybody's affecting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it just was like, I'm starting to realize, like, oh, hold on. They gave you a list of like, what was the list? 10 things, 10 traumas, or 10 traumas you've been through, and like, they give you a list like, oh, were you beat as a child, or were you did you have like instability, like what was the questions on there? It was like a whole bunch of questions, right?
Yeah, to help, like, assessment kind of thing.
It was an assessment, trauma assessment or something like that.
Right.
So we scored high, right? We scored like a 7, you was like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and I was like a 7 out of 10. We got done the questionnaire, the assessment. I was like, what? It was like, yeah, you go through a lot of trauma in your life, and I'm like, I know that's most people though, right? Yeah. Ain't that most people? She was like, yeah, but that's still trauma. It's a lot of people, and then, like, especially a lot of people growing up like in impoverished areas. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, that's everybody where I'm from. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know people that got way worse than me, and I'm thinking, like, because I don't have it as bad as other people, that I'm still like good. You know what I'm saying? So realizing that, like, you start to see, like, oh, this isn't right. This wasn't right with my life. This wasn't right when I was growing up. This wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? And like looking at that and seeing like merging that with what I already know about God and I already know about the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's broken. You know what I'm saying? And bro, that's why people need therapy, so they can realize that and they can see what exactly is wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? See what makes them tick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably moved over 30 times in my life, right? Over 30 times, like when I was younger up to now, probably more when I was younger though. And that instability caused me to have that. Caused me to have ADHD, because like I can't make relationships because I always had to end them. Wow. You know what I'm saying? I can't have long-term relationships because my brain is still like, this is going to end soon. So you might as well have fun while you can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I never knew how to build relationships that would last. This is the longest relationship I've ever had. You know what I'm saying? Besides my family, like, you know what I mean? It's the longest relationship I ever had, and I didn't realize like that. It's because of that. It's because of that. Like, the work. Like, I'm at school. Next thing you know, I'm not at that school no more. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on a different curriculum, I'm on something different. So it wasn't as important to me. Like these things weren't as important to me. So I'm getting my work done, but then I know whatever this, I don't care no more. Like it's gonna be, I'm gonna be gone in a minute.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So your brain is learning that pattern, and you can't stop that pattern.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your brain is just gonna keep thinking that it's about to happen again. Oh, it's about to happen again. You know what I'm saying? So that's how she explained it to me. Like,
wow.
Yeah, how it affected my brain. Like,
so what I wanted to put a pin in something that Taylor said and what you said, and how it just says the words "I'm broken," like I'm broken, like, and then you said that you realized how much brokenness is in other people when you see the brokenness in you, because you're being able to now see you see the perspective differently, and and it's crazy because it's humility in brokenness, and it's humility in allowing yourself to be broken, and when I hear that you went, like that Taylor went and that you went, and there was something there, there's humility there in order to sit in front of someone and say that I'm broken, and wanting to figure out what that is to become healed in a place to where now you both can function together. Because let's face it, we don't know where y'all would be at right now if you didn't go. To hear your story and to hear how you said that how you saw relationships and how you didn't see you saw the end before you started, and how it was just hard to really see the long lasting, like we don't know what that could have been for you, how your attitude, perspective in your marriage, what that would have done for as a husband, as a father, as whatever. And this is why it's so imperative that if you can make it in, even if you ain't got no issues in your life, go to therapy, right? Just go.
Because you think you don't got issues.
Right. You think you don't.
Everybody think they don't got issues until you go. You gonna go and you can be like, oh, that happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then talk to somebody to really get that stuff out, so that then you can start breaking generational curses. Like you can start breaking that things and building a legacy for your kids. And so that's profound. And where I see God at in this is because how you were able to meet one another and still be able to have a start and a beginning and want to do this finish line thing. God was like, no, I want you in this together. Like I have y'all placed for a reason, but y'all just gonna have some hiccups in the road. Y'all gonna have all of this, but no, I need you both to get healed. I need y'all both to go get healed, and let's come together and do this thing so that you can have a great marriage. Because listen, y'all did this thing speedy, so and so not to say that y'all wouldn't have needed it or whatever, or that y'all did need this for sure, because of how y'all relationship evolved. But it just goes to show that anybody, that everyone needs. You need that safe place, and you found a safe place in Taylor. Like you found that safe place, and God planted her in your life at such a time as this, so that you can feel that. We don't know, like God is so good, because Taylor went to therapy. Now you got a shining light on what you needed when you got diagnosed with, and then now y'all both able to live life and do life together. Like this is great. This is great, man. That's good. So how has therapy, no, I want to speak to this. Men in therapy, because we always talk about the man, like how does that help you as a man, as a father, as a husband? Like what does therapy do for you in those aspects?
I think it just gives me more grace for everybody. You know what I'm saying? More grace and more cautiousness, I guess. Like, because when you start to realize, like, a lot of things can affect the people around you. You know what I'm saying? And just like knowing, once you know, you are responsible. Knowledge is responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more responsible now to treat my son in a way where he doesn't have trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Both my sons, my wife, like, my friends, like trying to rebuild relationships that has been like a victim to just the way my brain works.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just trying to be a more responsible human being. You know?
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good responsibility. Helps
Yeah.
you step up to see where you need the work at,
Mhm.
and how you can still build a legacy with your family. So that's good.
Yeah.
So Taylor, like, speak to what has therapy done for you now that you've gone, or now you've been going. What is it doing for you in your relationship? You as a mom, you as a wife.
Ooh, it's done a lot. I have learned and am learning so much just about myself and how I operate. I was told that I don't think I'm worthy at times. I don't think I'm worthy of good things. So it's easy for me to just give until I don't have anything left, and then I'm just empty, and I'm not expecting for anybody to fill my cup. I'm not expecting for I'm empty and I'm mad. Like, that's what ends up happening. I'm empty and I'm upset. So therapy has taught me that there are things that I do deserve, whether it's 15 minutes of quiet time or just some time to like get away and pray, or I'm worthy of a good meal and not eating the rest of my son peanut butter and jelly sandwich because I didn't did everything for everybody else. Like,
right.
just those type of things. And then like I was in the back, so I heard what you were saying just about like what Michael was saying about parenting.
Yeah.
And like that responsibility to our child, and also you saying like, hey, God did something beautiful with putting y'all together to heal together, because I really feel like therapy is going to allow us to break things that we've seen for generations in how we raise our kids. My son has the right to feel. He has the right to tell me what he likes and what he doesn't like. He can't be disrespectful with it now, but like what he feels matters. What he says matters. We came up, speaking for myself, coming up where what I say goes, or you do this or do, like, he has that liberty. He is a little human, and I don't want to do and say things that inflict trauma on my kids, because the truth is, my healing is not happening from adulthood. It's happening from when I was a little girl. So those are the years that matter the most. And if we can make better impressions and advocate for healthy communication skills, instead of just like telling him, no, you can't, like trying to understand, okay, why are you acting this way? Why did you do this? Like, what made you angry? And apologizing as well. Did mommy make you angry? I'm sorry. Like, we didn't get that. I didn't get that as a kid. You know, my mom ain't tell me she was sorry for whipping me. She whipped me, and
that was it.
Like, that was that. That was that. And you better not say nothing about it, or you gonna get it again. So we're trying different methods, even with Ozzy, when it comes to that. Like, we've learned with kids these days, they don't care about no spanking. They toys matter. So if I tell him I'm about to cut off his TV,
that's it. That's the worst punishment in the world.
I put his toys in the attic for a minute. Yeah, I put all of them. I was like, I'm taking every last one of these. He was hysterical. He was crying for like 3 hours straight.
But he learned.
I'm like, that's going to hurt worse than a spanking.
And then it made him appreciate
the books and basically, okay, as you behave, I'll pull them down one by one. But you can't have all of these things until you learn how to behave.
You think?
Because no. Because really?
Right when you was talking too, right when.
Yeah. Yes, you're gonna sit with your daddy. So yeah, it's teaching me how to parent better. It's showing me how to communicate with Mychal better. I have always been the person where it's like I'm good, and I'm not good. He'll be like, "Babe, I'm good."
I tell her that. I always tell her that you are lying.
Yeah, he'd be like, "You are lying.
You're lying right now, right?
You are not good.
You are a liar.
Don't say so right now.
Yeah, he'd be like, "You lying right now."
You a whole liar, cuz.
But I'm learning how to filter through that and not just suppress it and say nothing, but like, okay, this is what's happening inside of me. This is why I'm feeling this way, and trusting that when I put it out there, I did my part with putting it out there. I can't control how he's going to respond to it, but I don't have to hold on to it. I can literally release it and not walk around like a ticking time bomb because I assume that he knows how I feel or what he did wrong. I can literally just be like, hey, I feel like this because, and I'm owning how I feel. I give it to him. I'm giving it to God, and I'm sorting through it instead of not walking through what's really going on with me. So it's taught me how to communicate effectively as well, and to know that, hey, my voice matters. Like, I don't have to believe the lie that when I say something, it don't matter if you say something like nothing's gonna happen, nobody's gonna do anything. That comes from, trauma. It's a trauma response of things that happened when I was a kid. But I don't have to believe that nobody's gonna come for me or nobody's gonna care when I say what's going on. I can actually put it out there and know that, hey, it's safe and we can work on dealing with how you feel because it matters.
Yeah. And it's an ongoing and it sounds like with this, it's an ongoing process because you're continuing to go and he's continuing to go. So y'all go separately and then y'all meet in the middle. Like what happens?
Yeah. So my sessions are Monday mornings. His sessions are Monday evenings. And we've started, we had our first session together. Okay. We had our first session together this past week. So I'm grateful because we're meeting with the same therapist. We meet with the same therapist.
For all of them. Okay.
Yeah, for everything. So she meets with us separately, and then we have our meetings together. But she was like, hey, I think y'all need to sort through y'all stuff by yourself first. Do some one-on-one time, and then y'all can come together and building together. So
good. I like
that. For our first session together, we went back, family type of stuff. Like, what did you grow up in, and what did that expose you to? How does that relate to who you are right now? And we were able to see, like, dang, like this really, really is in our relationship right now. The things that we've seen, the things that we've encountered from family, it has become a part of our marriage, whether it's good or bad. So I think that our together sessions have been really, really beneficial for sure.
That's good. No, that says a lot. It says a lot because I decided to do therapy a year ago. And I know it was so life-changing for me. And it wasn't that I was like trying to pull him or make him or whatever it was, but he's to the point, it's like, I want to go. Like, I want to be able to take that journey with you. Like, I want to feel like, oh, you feel like you feel free. I want to feel free too. Right. The trauma. No drama. It was drama. All this dang drama. No trauma.
It was drama and trauma.
Yeah. And so to hear that it has shaped and evolved, like y'all able to go back and see what life was like separately in family, and how it now makes up y'all, today, and how you see the influences of the positive and negative, like what y'all bring into it. It says a lot. So no, And so bigger question too, ultimately, like, do y'all think if y'all had this before y'all got married, do y'all think that what would that have done for y'all marriage if y'all would have had these type of sessions before?
I think it would have brought a lot of understanding,
Yeah.
like a lot of empathy, a lot of grace, a lot of everything. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that first year would have been so hard.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been at all.
Because therapy has allowed us and is allowing us to see each other. Like we see each other. Like when she said your husband might be suffering with ADHD, I was like, wow. It made me so much more gracious, because if you don't know about a diagnosis, you just ain't finishing nothing. Like what's up? Like, sorry, baby. It's like you're annoyed. Like, it's like, man, like, we trying to do this, we trying to do that. But like me knowing like, hey, oh shoot, this is a real thing.
Sure.
I wanted to love on him more and affirm him in the things that he's doing and push him more and encourage him more. It allowed me to see him with more compassion and more grace. And when she spoke to my traumas as a child, and Taylor responds this way because this happened to her, or because that happened to her, he's like, wow, I see it now. Like, this is why she does this or that. Like, and it made him, and it's making him more gracious towards me. He's able to see me. He's able to speak to the unhealed parts of me gently.
Yeah.
And it's not oh man, you just like, it's off, but I feel like it's good. When we were butting heads at the beginning of marriage, one of the things that Mychal said to me was, you are not easy to leave. And
wow,
I was not easy to leave. It was true. It was very true. I was not easy to leave, but I wasn't easy to leave because I did not trust men.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't trust them because of things that happened in my past, because of trauma, because of people in authoritative positions or positions of power manipulating, abusing. So I wanted to allow him to lead me well, but that independent woman, I can do this by myself, ain't nobody gonna tell me this or that. That was a trauma response for me. And I didn't realize that I was operating out of trauma. I just thought, hey, this how I'm wired, and who gonna check me? That's how I was operating. So,
and in her trying to fix it in herself, she just ran the opposite way.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, like, we try to fix our own selves, but we try to just, like, not do the thing that caused this. Like, just don't do that anymore. But no, you need to play in between that. And work out the issue. You know what I'm saying? Work out the issue and not trying to run away from it or just do the opposite or just don't do it at all. You know what I mean? And that's how we fix things without therapy. You know what I'm saying?
Not fighting. You don't fight. You just kind of shut it down. Be shut down. So she just be like, we'll be having an argument. I'm a talker. You feel me? Like, and when you shut down communication with me, I feel like useless. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, bro. Like, I get angry because I'm like, yo, so you just gonna like, we having a conversation, you just gonna stop talking? And then she just be like, they call it walling up. Stonewalling. That's what they call in therapy. Like, stonewalling. I'm just starting to realize that. I'm like, that. And then it's like, and then she said that the therapist was like, that really will, like, if a person's a real communicator, that really will hurt them. That is a tactic. You know what I'm saying? A tactic to, you know what I'm saying? It's a tactic, but it's also, this is how she deals with her trauma. You know what I mean? It's just how she deals with it. And that's the opposite way. Like,
oh, I don't want to say nothing. I'm gonna regret. So let me just stop talking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So
that was your easy go-to, the easy go-to.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that made me mad. Like I hated that.
Yeah.
Because I'm the communicator. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we can talk about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because my family, we talk about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like we loud, we one of them families.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we have to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ain't no we not getting along no more, or we not ain't none of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
let's get through this.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
that's so funny.
But-
I think it's kind of similar to our families too. It was
Yeah.
quick.
Mhm.
I'll hear like such and such, they ain't speaking to each other no more. They ain't. I'm like, but really? Like it's been a year, 2 years? Like and they
Yeah.
still ain't?
Yep.
But we like our family, we get into it. People always into it, and they the next day they back okay again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it was hard for me to fathom like that really like I don't understand how that happens. Like
Whole family broken all because they don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Oh, we remember what the problem was.
right.
Yeah.
They just wanted mad.
Yeah.
And able to shut
Yeah.
it down or able not to come to a function. And what I'm noticing is a lot. He's the middle person and he don't know what's going on. He just,
I don't even want to know what's
he don't even want to know what's going on, but he's in the center of like people coming together, kind of deal. And so he's like the nucleus in a way. And so when people
Yeah.
come out or we try to bring people out, people end up probably starting to see one another again because of him, because he is that person. And then I'm able to see it. I'm able to see him grow into that and see that like, babe, like you're a big deal.
Yeah.
You are able to bring folks together.
Well, the thing is, I've always seen that role and never understood it, but I've ever seen that role for me. I just didn't want to accept it until lately, where I was just like, well, let me just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Because if not, things would never change.
Yeah.
Everybody was
Right.
getting mad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yeah.
let me just find something out, and it became a whole new experience for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
To where now they want to do it again,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
actually in a grander way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just have to know that I'm the one that has to do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like work.
But work. No, but I love this conversation because it shows the work that has to be done
Mhm.
in order
Yeah.
for things to gel well. Like, and I appreciate you sharing like where you were in your journey, Taylor, to start it, because
Yeah.
I know there's somebody out there listening. Y'all were or are in that same place. You could be single, you could be married, and you're like, I don't know what to do. I am about to go off on somebody. Go off on his world or either shut down or whatever in depression or whatever it is. And you sought after it. You said you sought after it. You didn't even tell Michael. You was like, I'm going to therapy. Told him
I'm
after
going to therapy. I was like, I'm going to be healed. Whether he want to be healed or not, I'm going to be healed.
I'm going to be healed. Okay. Because
You stop me.
right.
Yep.
Right. Because you needed that. You needed that to be a better you, right? To better you. And I love what I felt after going to my sessions. Like I felt so much lighter. I was able to pick up like the anxiety, the depression was less, like all things were just happening in tune. And so I'm glad to hear how y'all are doing it individually and then now together as a couple. So that's healthy. So dating though, so y'all are still dating each other. Like I love to hear that on Mondays, so y'all meet in the middle, I guess. So Taylor, you go in the morning, Michael, you go in the evening, and then y'all kind of that still stands, that still goes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's still going. So and it doesn't even have to be anything super fancy. It's really about us coming together and spending time. We recognize that our marriage looks different from when we didn't have any kids. The kids get our attention. They are high demand. So we have to sneak away and we have to find time for each other. So Asa's on our dates with us, but he's fed and sleep. Yeah. And we might be going and getting a Publix sub and sitting on the balcony and eating, or we might be going to a restaurant, but we make sure that we spend some time together on Monday intentionally, where it's as uninterrupted as it can be, and we just talk. And it happens to fall on the day where we have therapy, but it's in the middle. So my session is 11:30, his is 4:30. So we have this gap. Sure. So right after my session, we'll go and we'll have lunch or something like that. and we'll talk about how my session was. And then I like that it flows throughout the day, because after his session, he comes home and he wants to talk about how his session was. So, I mean, it overall gives us something to bond over too on Mondays. It's lunch and we're having deep conversation. We're going to talk to each other about the same thing that we just talked to the therapist about. So, yeah.
Good. No, I love it. I love that y'all are able to do that, to keep the spark alive, to keep y'all sane, to keep you in order, and also with the kiddos. Like, that's most important. The demand is real. Okay. So
you see, we couldn't even do an interview alone. Right. Kid needed to shine.
To shine. He in there too.
That's fine.
So listen, this has been great. Y'all have been amazing with the story from how y'all met to on down to therapy and what y'all need and how y'all got all this goodness from one another. So I really appreciate y'all for coming on here.
We appreciate y'all for having us.
Thank you for this platform.
Yes. So final thing is, anything that you want to say, final words I want to say to the audience, anybody who's listening, anything that you want to share, any encouragement that you want to give, go ahead. This is y'all time.
I would say, just be vulnerable, man. That's how people grow. That's like your testimony can really help somebody. You know what I'm saying? Your voice could really speak to somebody's life. You know what I mean? And then like help them grow, because like even if it's just like, even if they're not going through the same thing, they can give them courage. You know what I'm saying? It can give them courage to be who they are, to be honest about the situation they're going through, to be vulnerable, man. That's for us. I feel like that's the number one thing. Like, and be in community.
Yes.
Get some people around you that love you, that want to love on you. Like, it's the most important thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not good for men to be alone. And I don't think he was just talking about a wife. I had his 3 people. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's 3 people. So like, community is it's important. It's important, bro. Like, just community and be vulnerable. Like, man, you'll grow.
I think same thing, honestly. We need more of this. So just like being in a space where you are real with yourself about where you are, and real with other people about where you are. I think for anybody that is wanting to be married or that is married, that transparency, that vulnerability, that's a game changer. Like, the exposed parts are the parts that can be healed. But if it's hidden, nobody ever sees it. Like, it continues to fester, and it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out either way, in your relationships, in your jobs, or whatever it is, it's gonna come out. So just being vulnerable, being in community, and like you said, being around people that actually love you, want to see you make it. We got people in our corner that are rooting for our marriage. Like, that's very important. Like, us as a whole, like we love y'all. We want to see y'all win. Like, it's important. It's really important. So that community aspect and that vulnerability aspect, I totally just follow up with him on everything that he said. And if you are single, being in community with other singles where you are actively sharing your struggles, actively sharing your joys, like just sharing with other people where you are, being accountable, so that you can do the work that's necessary to move towards marriage, if that's what you want to do.
That's good. That's good. No, thank y'all. So how can the people follow y'all? Like, y'all speaking all this truth, this good things. What do y'all have going on as far as like anything you want people to know about, and how can people get a hold of y'all?
She don't like to talk about herself, but I'm gonna talk about her.
Come on, speak about it, Michael. Tell us all, because I know what's going on, but go ahead.
FreeYourRoots.com. All the products are on there. She has natural hair care products. She has oil. She has butter. She has mists. She does everything. She makes some really great products for natural hair. Yes. And I started a podcast, Deciphered podcast. We're gonna be talking about music, art, culture, and break it down like philosophically, because I believe everybody has like a way that they believe they should live. You know what I mean? And we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Everybody has a belief, so we're gonna break that down, and we're gonna break down the meaning behind popular music, the meaning behind culture, what we see, and yeah.
That's good. I can't wait. I can't wait. So
follow that.
Right. I can't wait. Free your roots. Free your roots. Go get y'all products, y'all. Come on, man.
Free your roots, baby.
Taylor, I wish you was close to me.
I need both.
I need the plant-based stuff too. I need some meals.
Listen, I got you. We can just message each other. I got you. I'll send you some recipes.
Good. Thank you. Yes, that's what I need. Well, all right, y'all. It's been real. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of When Marriage and Purpose
Collide,
the podcast. And so y'all leave a review, comment, share.
Please share.
Yeah. So let us know that y'all been listening. All right. We love y'all. Peace.
All right.
Peace,
y'all.
Thank you for tuning into When Marriage and Purpose Collide podcast.
Click on the link in the description to learn a little more about us. Subscribe and send a review on your takeaways or any new insight you have gained in this episode.
See you back here for our next episode. Peace.